Hello again, everyone. It's been a while. Originally, I had planned to come out here a little earlier. And no, it's not Christmas Day. Obviously, if you're watching this, it should be uploaded way before Christmas Day. But usually in December, I wear my Santa hat a lot. But anyway, I just aired up the mattress and I've got a radiating heater. It's like an oil radiating heater that I bought from the thrift store. It's a really good deal. I'm hoping that it works well because this is normally a few $100s, like 250 maybe, and I got it for about $40. I also brought several blankets and an extra jacket if I need it to stay warm, but I think it should be okay. If worse comes to worse, I can always get in the van and use the heater out there, but I don't think that it will be necessary. Today is the 7th, Wednesday the 7th, and I wanted to share something with you. I think now is a good time as any to share it. Starting from December 1st, I am on medical leave from work. So technically, I am still employed. To keep from going into all the details of it, if you're interested in asking questions about it, then feel free to drop them in the comments section, or you can email me. If you want to know what my email address is, it's in my About section on my main YouTube page. It's actually spelled just like the name of the channel, at gmail.com. You can email me there directly. The simple version is that back in May, I started having a lot of problems with my health. And at first, I thought that I was just really out of shape, but it didn't really make any sense because I was having some other symptoms and all of those things just kept getting worse. I finally went to the doctor. The doctor found out that I have a large tumor on my right kidney. So it's a cancer tumor and it's quite large. The last time we did a CT scan to look at it, he showed me that it's actually larger than my kidney. If you don't know how large your kidney is, it's normally about the size of your fist, and this tumor is larger than that. So far, it hasn't spread to anywhere else, but it was causing some problems with the I guess the arteries and the veins, the blood flow into parts of my body, and so it interferes with my ability to get oxygen. And that's why from May for a couple of months during that time, I didn't actually come out here and do any work at my house, and I didn't make any videos. I started editing a lot because I was at home sitting on the computer and I couldn't really do anything, so I was able to edit all the stuff that I shot before. If you know what anemia is one of the side effects for this type of cancer, and basically it's because it is my reading glasses are fogged, causes the oxygen to not get into the blood so easily. It also messes with the blood flow to the lower half of the body. Liquids get stuck in the body because the kidneys can't, process them and filter them and then get them out efficiently. So my legs swell up, my feet swell up. They tend to look like they're really, really bruised and stuff because of the swelling and that sort of thing. I wear compression socks to try to keep that swelling down and help control that. It also, if I don't control it, it also causes chest pains and stress on my heart. If I'm not careful, it could cause me to have a heart attack simply because of, it's like the crap rolls downhill. If you don't take care of the things at the top, then everything downhill can suffer. It's kind of that situation. I started off by changing my diet a lot, and that helped. Although I improved a little bit, I wasn't recovering, so the tumor wasn't getting smaller. And from then until now, it's gotten just a little bit bigger, which is not good, obviously. But my symptoms are not as bad as they were before, and so that's good. My kidneys are both still functioning moderately well, according to the tests that we have every month. I go to the doctor every month. My liver is functioning really well. It doesn't have any issues. Based on scans and checking things out, there is no cancer anywhere else. It's just isolated to the one big mass on my right kidney. Of course, the doctor recommended chemotherapy and drugs and all this other kind of stuff, but I only take one particular medicine. It's not to cure the tumor or anything, or it's just to help stop bleeding, because since I have the anemia side effects, losing blood is something that I definitely cannot have. I can't be losing blood. If I'm losing blood, then it's a very dangerous situation. So he gives me some medicine that I don't always take it. That's the good thing. I don't have to always take it, but I have it if I need it. And it keeps me from losing blood. And if you're wondering how am I losing blood, it's whenever I go to the toilet. If I go pee, and it's possible sometimes there's blood. There have been a couple times when it was really, really bad, and there was some blood clotting and things like that. Very scary looking stuff. Not something that I wish anyone to experience. So literally every time I go to the toilet, I have to kind of worry. Well, I don't have to, but I tend to worry a little bit about what I'm going to see. Is it just going to be normal? Is it going to be dark? Is it going to be bloody or what? But, recently it's been much better than before, but still definitely not perfect. I said all of that to say this. Try as I might, from May all the way until the end of November, I kept teaching. I kept working at the school. I went to the hospital once a month, and I ran out of holidays, vacation days. I don't have any at this job, so I would take a day off to go to the hospital, and I don't get paid. So I would just lose about $100 or whatever it is. Well, it's not quite that much. I wish it were that much, but it's I would lose a full day's pay because I have to go to the hospital for that day, and so that was a little annoying, but necessary. It's taken several months, but finally I figured out that they have a medical leave that I can take, and it's different than like an unemployment thing, because if I'm unemployed, then technically I don't have any right to residency in Japan, right? So I would have to try to get another job, but I need rest because of my medical condition. So just taking off work and not having an official job is not good. So of course I'm not married to a Japanese national, so I don't have permanent residency. And just because I have a house doesn't mean that I get residency. In case you don't know that, there's your answer. You don't get residency in Japan just by buying a house. It doesn't matter how expensive or cheap it is. You would have to invest like $50,000 into a business or something like that to be able to get some type of residency, or get married to someone here, or have a really, really good job for several years, more than 5 years, before you can be considered for residency. But anyway, back to my story. If you're still with me, God bless you. Hang on a second. I picked up some English breakfast tea at Starbucks earlier, and I filled it back up with hot water. This is the second round. Still a little warm, so that's okay. Let me sit on the air mattress here. Oh, that's much better than squatting on the tatami. I know this is not the kind of content that you subscribed for, probably not what you subscribed for, but I do promise that things are gonna be moving forward here in a completely different pace, and with a lot more information and stuff about what's going on here at the house, and I'm going to get to that and tell you a little bit about what's going on, but also show you as I go. But I'm telling you all this so you can see where I'm starting from. It took a while, but my company finally, at first they were like, no, there's no such thing as medical leave or medical unemployment or anything like that. No, there's no benefit or whatever for that. It turns out that was incorrect, and one of my colleagues was able to turn me on to something, and we dug around some more, and finally I was able to get the company to kind of quit dragging their heels and figure out what was available, and come to find out there is a medical leave available for people who've been paying into the insurance for a certain amount of time. I think it's at least 6 months straight. And the benefit, I think, is a little bit better if you've been working for at least 1 year. And I've been working and paying for this insurance for more than a year, for about 14 months or so. So that was no problem. You get about 60% of your normal average salary based on past, I don't know, 3 or 6 months or something. I can't remember what they said. It's a little tricky because, first of all, of course, the doctor has to fill out the form and agree to that. He has to recommend it. And when I inquired about it, he said it would be good for me to take the time off and focus on recovery and healing much faster. Because from May until now, there has been such little improvement, and having to go to work and continue to go up and down the stairs and sit a lot at the desk and stand a lot, and it's just the stress of dealing with all of that and being at the school for 45 hours a week just didn't give me the type of environment that I really needed to recover. I tried, but it just didn't work. If you've been watching the channel, you know that I had, well, still have actually, an apartment in Hiroshima, and I work at a junior high school there as a teacher. But this house is in North Higashi Hiroshima, and if I drive from my apartment to here, it takes about an hour if the traffic is not bad, maybe a little more than that. Of course, my apartment is not free. I have to pay for that. This house is paid for, so the only expenses throughout the year are going to be like electricity. I don't have the water hooked up yet, but whenever I do, it'll be free also, because it'll be collected from the rain and hopefully from the stream in the back. There's no gas here right now. The house is paid off, so that's good. So what I decided to do was, when I went on this medical leave, to be in the process of moving out of my apartment by the end of the year. So I'll be in the apartment until just after Christmas, and then I'll have everything moved here. And in the meantime, I have to take what little money that I have and figure out how to finish getting the water hooked up, make sure that I have enough heat for the winter, and figure out how to hook up to the septic tank a toilet and some type of shower. Those are the main things that I need to try and work out, and that's what I'm working on this month. So I've ordered a couple of things. I ordered a water pump already. I think they tried to bring it today, but I wasn't here yet. And I picked up this heater. Doesn't seem to be putting out the amount of heat that I want, but I'll look that up later and see if there's a way to increase that. While I'm here, my plan is to do some fasting. And I know some of you might know some about fasting and some don't. Some support it, some maybe don't, or whatever, but it's okay, whatever. In either case, I would just ask that you be positive and wish me some positive words, give me some support, and just really, encourage me. That would be nice, because out here, it's just going to be me, and I'm trying to get Docomo to connect a signal amplifier so that I can do some videos straight from here. I really need to be able to use internet straight from the house for several reasons. They're supposed to be sending me a signal booster, but either it hasn't arrived or they wouldn't deliver it because I wasn't here. I'm not sure. We'll see. I'm going to be moving completely out of the apartment by the end of the year. Even though I won't be making as much money because of the salary cut, my expenses will be lower than before, so that's good. It sucks because since I'm still considered employed, it's medical leave, not unemployment. That means that I still have to pay for both pension and health insurance. So that's another few $100s that I have to continue paying every month, even though I'm on medical leave. I understand having to pay for health insurance, and that's not a really high expense. But what I don't understand is, why is it when someone goes on medical leave because of a serious health condition, they have to continue paying pension? I mean, that's like getting pension help and then paying pension help at the same time. That makes no sense to me. But basically what my friends here have said is that Japan is in such a terrible state as it relates to like Social Security and covering the benefits of the masses amounts of elderly people here, that there's just almost no way to avoid paying into the pension to support that. More and more money is needed all the time to cover the expenses of the already gargantuan, ever-growing elderly population in Japan. So even people who are in my situation and people that are in worse situations, like really bad health situations, are still being stuck with these ridiculous pension payments. And I think that's absolutely terrible. I mean, it would be one thing if my salary were like $100,000 a year and I was only getting 60% of that, and that's $60,000. And then they take a few $100s out of that or whatever to pay pension. It's no big deal for somebody like that. But I am an English teacher. I will never see 60,000. I will never even see $30,000 in a year in Japan as an English teacher. That will never happen. So it's just one of the many reasons why I want to get out of teaching. It's not my passion anyway. I'm really good at it, and I like helping people, and the students are wonderful. My colleagues are great. But that doesn't mean that it's my dream, and it doesn't mean that it's ever going to make me rich or happy. And there are a lot of reasons why I should be doing my own work and my own business. But anyway, wow, 20 minutes. I'm so sorry. Once again, if you've stuck through this whole video, God bless you, and thank you so much for listening. And from here, it's a little scary. I will admit that I'm at a point in my life right now where sometimes I don't know what's going to happen the next day, or in the next few weeks, or in the next month, or whatever. And last night I kept telling myself when I was going to sleep, it's not for me to understand the why or the how. It's just for me to believe. It's just for me to trust. It's none of my business to know how or why something is going to happen, or how things are going to play out properly, or how things will get better, or where things will come from. It's none of my business. My business is to just believe and then look for the doors to open. Believe and look for the doors to open, because they will. So that's what I keep telling myself. And right now, I think that's pretty much it. I'll leave you with that. Thank you again for listening. And tomorrow I'll be here for a little while, and plan on doing some burning. I've got a lot of grass out here that I want to burn. And I might even play around with the irori if I can get the proper coals down at the hardware store to light that up. If it works really well, then I might rig up that room in there between the irori and my heater. Maybe the whole room can be nice and toasty. Because right now, this heater, it doesn't feel like it's really doing enough by itself. But anyway, we'll see. I love you all. And until next time, じゃあね。